what are the different types of motion. So first let's understand what is a motion. So whenever the object changes its position with respect to time, that is called as motion. Let's understand first what is a reference point. Travel some distance and then come down, that is called as projectile motion. So whenever the object moves in a straight line, that is called as rectilinear motion. So what is frequency? Frequency is just that number of oscillations per second. Hello, hi everyone. So my name is Akash and today we are going to learn about motion. So this is a new series we are starting off for grade 9 student. So first topic, so there will be a lot of subtopics and we'll go each and every subtopic. So we are going to learn today what are the different types of motion. So first let's understand what is a motion. Do you know what is motion? Motion is very simple. Anything whenever something is moving, that we call as a motion. For example, I am walking here, so that is a motion. If I am moving the pen up and down, there is a motion, right? If I am moving my hands, there is a motion. So whenever the object changes its position with respect to time, that is called as motion. So now there is one thing which is very important, that is called as a reference point. Let's understand first what is a reference point. For example, if you see here this question, I'll read this question. So school is 3 kilometers from the railway station and to the north. So for example, the railway station here is the reference point. So with respect to the railway station, school is 3 kilometers north. So let's suppose there is a railway station here, and if you go to the north, do you know directions? So this is the north, then this one would be south, there is going to be east, and this is west. These are the directions. So when you go to the north, and how much? 3 kilometers. So there is 3 kilometers to the north. Then you will reach to where? There is a school. Okay. And then railway station is 4 kilometers east of the bus stop. So now the bus stop here is our reference point. So with respect to the bus stop, railway station is 4 kilometers east. So bus stop should be somewhere here. There is a bus stop, and from the bus stop you have to move towards east. How much? 4 kilometers. And the angle between all these directions is 90. So whenever you change the angle, change the direction, you move by the angle which is 90 degree. Okay. So how far is school from the bus stop? So do you just going to add these two? No, you are not going to add these two because the angle between them is 90. So you will use the Pythagoras theorem and then you will calculate this height. So this is like a right angle triangle, something like this. There is 4 kilometers, there is an angle 90, there is 3 kilometers. So what is this height? So using the Pythagoras theorem, you can calculate hypotenuse square is 3 square plus 4 square. 3 square is, so 3 square plus 4 square, that is hypotenuse square. So hypotenuse would be square root of this, which is square root of 9 plus 16, which is 25, and square root of that is 5. So this is 5 kilometers. So school is 5 kilometers from the bus stop. Okay. So now let's understand the motion along the straight line. So this motion here, there is not along the straight line. There can be, let's suppose we are walking, so that could be the straight line. But let's suppose the players are playing on football ground, so they doesn't have to move along the straight line, right? The easier one, the simpler one, simpler motion would be the motion along the straight line. Let's understand that. So for example, there is a straight line. Can you see? There is a straight line. Here there are markings 0 meter, 1 meter until 10 or 11 meters. So there is this ball. So this ball can only move towards right or towards left. It cannot move up and down or cannot come out of the plane or cannot go inside. It can only move along this line, that is called as motion in the straight line. So let's understand different types of motion. So you see this person, he's just pushing the object. So is the object moving in a straight line? Yes. So whenever the object moves in a straight line, that is called as rectilinear motion or simply linear motion. Okay. Object is not moving any random path. It is a very directional, unidirectional path or along the straight line, that is called as rectilinear motion. The second one, can you see this fan? Every one of you, we have the fan at our home, right? The blades of this fan, they are just rotating or they are circulating, right? If you move, let's suppose there is some point or some tip, so that tip moves along the circle. So that is called as circulatory motion or circular motion. Okay, and overall for this fan, if you consider the fan as a single object, it is something like a rotation. We are going to come to that, the rotational motion. There is like a circular motion. Okay, the next one, yeah, there is a circular motion. You see, this object is moving along the circle. Let's suppose there is some object here. So this object will follow this circular path, that is called as circular motion. Then the next one is oscillatory motion. You see this object, this pendulum, it is also moving. This pendulum is moving in the which kind of motion? So this is a oscillator. It is oscillating, right? There is a oscillation. This is called as oscillatory motion. So this motion, like most of the times the oscillatory motion or the vibrational motions, they are periodic. Other motion, they are not periodic, but oscillatory or the vibrational motion, they are periodic. So it will follows a uniform time. So there is a time period. The time taken to complete a single oscillation is called as time period. So these are periodic motions. The next one, there is also oscillatory or the vibrational motion. You see this string is vibrating. Here the strings are vibrating in different shapes or different forms. So these are vibrational or also called as oscillatory motion. These are also called as waves on a string. You are going to learn all this in higher grades. These are the waves, different kinds of waves that can be formed or can be produced on a string. The next one, vibrational. Do you know this shape? This is called as tuning fork. So this tuning fork, it has a very nice shape and it is made such that it moves or it vibrates at a precise frequency. So what is frequency? Frequency is just that number of oscillations per second. In 1 second, how many oscillations it can have? That is called as the frequency of it. Usually the frequency can be like something like 500 Hertz. So it will complete 500 oscillations in 1 second. Okay, that is called as vibrational motion. The next one, projectile. Do you watch cricket? So in cricket, let's suppose the batsman hit the ball. The batter hit the ball. The ball will move to certain angle and then it will go to the stadium or out of the stadium. So that is an example of a projectile motion. Or if you just throw, let's suppose you have something, ball or anything, just throw with certain angle. So it will travel some distance and then come down. That is called as projectile motion. The next one, we all know our earth rotates. Or do you play like top, the spinning top? The top spins. That is called as rotation or rotatory motion. So what happens, there is an axis here. So along this axis, earth moves. So all the particles, all the objects which are present on the surface of the earth, they move along this axis. Only the points which are along this axis, they do not move. Everything else, they move. This is called as rotation or rotatory motion. Alright, so these are the different types of motion. Thank you so much.